G'day guys, Sparkydave here. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons to show support for this channel. Please ensure you read and understand the following disclaimer before watching the video. In today's video, I demonstrate how to install a recessed LED strip light. The product used in the video is a wide recessed hidden strip light by Brightgreen, a company I recently did a product review for one of their downlights. I'm stoked with the outcome overall, even though I made a bit of a blunder halfway through the video. Enjoy. So this is the full kit. We've got the track for the light, we've got the LED strip light and the driver there. The plan is to run the light across the face of the garage, recessed directly up here in the timber. We'll open up the package here and check the IP rating of the product before we proceed. So looking in the pack here, the LED strip light is definitely rated for outdoor use. It is completely sealed and encased. I don't specifically know the IP rating, it's not very clear in the guide here. I'm sure I could find the information online. However, it does say using glue in this diagram here, you can change it from the connection from IP20 to IP67. So going off that, if we're cutting this unit down to length and then sealing the end of it back up, we're going to make it IP67 all up. Now I'll just have a look inside the case here and see what kind of fixings it comes with. So that there is a wee end cap, and we've got some wee mounting clips here. Next thing I'm going to do is calculate the position of the track here up into the timber, so I know exactly where it's going to recess in there. Timber is 19mm deep, but there is more timber above this piece, so we'll be fine to work out exactly where the light's going to go and then route it in there. So I know this track is 2 meters long exactly. Now measure the length of the entire piece of timber. So you can see the entire length is 2400. So halfway is 1200, and we're going 200 off either end to fit the 2 meters in there perfectly. I've gone 200 off either end, and then I've just divided the width in half and gone to the center of it. Same again on this side, and I've measured with the light track. 2 meters is exactly between the center of this one and the center of this mark. Next thing I'm going to do is drill a wee hole on the inside of this line that's the same width as the track, and just see the depth of the timber work behind this timber here. There could be a cavity, but more likely there's going to be some timber above that I'll have to drill through. So just measuring the width, it's around 12mm. I have a 12mm drill bit here, and as you can see, it lines up perfectly. The timber here is actually very deep, so I'm going to need to use a router to route along the line all the way across. So what I'm going to need to do before I start routing it is pop this garage door back out the way. Just pop that steel back. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Right out the way now. So the guide should be able to be set straight up to the timber here, and then I can get this perfectly straight line all the way between the two holes. For this install, I don't need to use these mounting clips. I'm actually going to drill holes in the channel itself and just mount it up using the screws in there. I'm going to route it out to 12mm exactly. So now what I'm going to do is cut along the track 3 times. So I'll do about a third of the router bit each time I go through. We'll see how it goes. If it's a bit chunky, I'll reduce it back a wee bit. Should be a nice starting depth, hopefully. So I'll make sure this is nice and centered. No, not quite. Right, I'll have to do this off camera, line it up, and yeah, I'll show you through cutting. Righto, got the extraction system ready and the router, so we're ready to go. So that's the routing completed. Now I've just got to square these ends up a wee bit to fit the track in perfectly, but it's going to fit in there really nicely. It's nice and squared out now. I just used a 12mm chisel on the ends, just on the inside, to tap them out. Now unfortunately I slipped with my drill and took a wee bit of paint out, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's a garage. And then same on this end. Now the track won't 100% line up with these ends here, but it'll be pretty flush, and I mean you can tidy these ends up if you really want to, but at the end of the day this one's going to be quite nice. So we'll try and fit the track in that recess now. So this track now fits in there absolutely perfectly. It's nice and flush and goes all the way back, and I'll show you what I mean by the ends. So the end here, there is a wee little bit out of it, but I'm not going to worry about that. I've got to get a cable up through here anyway for the light. So we'll drill that out in a minute. I'll just get this secured in place. For this, I'm just going to use the screws provided. There is 3 of them. So I'm going to put one in the center roughly, and 2 about 200mm from each edge. So I'll get the drill out and pre-drill these holes first. Okay, so I've got some nice holes in there now. One there, and one about there. So that's fine, all 3 of those are going to hold it in nicely. Perfect, now I'll do the same with the other 2. I had to go and get one more, throw it in the end there, just because this one there, when it was done up really tight, it was just pulling this end slightly out of line. So the next step now, I'm going to need to get a cable from here right up through the timber into the cavity behind here and route a cable to a light switch. And then what I'm going to do in a future video is make sure that this strip light is going to go on a 180 degree or 360 degree sensor. I'll see what works best for where it is on the garage, and that'll make a separate video entirely. So the cable on the light here is just less than 6mm, so I use my nice long 6mm bit and drill up from the corner. Now I'll be drilling up through the timber away from the alley, because I don't want to have to put a grommet in the alley for the cable to not get cut over time. That hole's gone straight through there. It is a wee bit close to the alley, but it's far enough away that it's not going to cause an issue. Right, next part is to get this light installed in the track. So what I'll do first is get this cable poked up into it. So I'll chuck the cable through that hole now. And these just snap into place. Nice, so that's in there perfectly.